ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगणललिता श्रीशाकान्तां हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवत्सल। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So very happy to address all of you, and I heard you're all a group of scientists, doctorates. Is it so?
Yeah, mostly. At least most of them are the masters, or many of them mostly in the intellectual group.
So I'm not able to see their faces, but still ears are more important. Hope you hear what being spoken. So I don't know how many of you have really have basic level of understanding of philosophy, but since we are discussing Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purnamamsa, Purnamamsa, which are known as Shad Darshanas, where in one sense, or in essentially, if you want to say what these six systems of philosophy are, any thought process which can come in anybody's mind, any part of the world, at any part of any moment of time, they either belong to Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purnamamsa, or Purnamamsa. That means all the different thought processes which a human can ever think are already defined in these six systems of philosophy. Like somebody says that communism, where does it come from? It is based in Nyaya, Vaisheshika. Modern science, the philosophy of modern science, where did it come from? It comes from Nyaya, Vaisheshika. So some people, even different theories, antagonistic theories or false theories, they all have their origin in one of the six systems of philosophy. In the Vedic literatures, as much as knowledge is systematically presented, ignorance is also systematically presented. What is present these days as knowledge is actually ignorance, but even that ignorance is very unsystematic. So our sages, they have presented ignorance in a very systematic way. So what is the need to understand the six systems of philosophy is to actually know what is ignorance in a systematic way, so that you can defeat them systematically and understand knowledge systematically. So that is why the six systems of philosophy are there. They are known as darshanas. But before we go into that, I would like you to introduce you to the Vedic literatures, different category of Vedic literatures. So if you have those charts which I sent on WhatsApp, just now I sent charts on WhatsApp. So you can share it in your group so that one by one you can see those charts.
Okay, sure.
The first chart is talking about three prasthanas, prasthanatraya. So another name of Vedic literature is known as prasthanatraya, the three prasthanas. Prasthana means from where everything comes from, or where the entire knowledge comes from. That is Veda. So the Vedas have three categories, three divisions known as Prasthana. One is known as Shruti Prasthana, other is known as Smriti Prasthana, other one is Nyaya Prasthana. So I hope you're shared in their WhatsApp. So I'm not so good in put it in the mobile.
Yeah,
Just share it.
yeah, I'll share that. I'm with that. Yeah.
So Shruti Prasthana means the original four Vedas. Rig, Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. These four Vedas, they are known as Shruti Prasthana, which are eternal at the same time. It doesn't change in Swara and Krama. They are known as Veda. Veda means knowledge. Actually, knowledge is not created. Knowledge already exists. Now, if you say, oh no, we got a knowledge that hydrogen and water combine, hydrogen and oxygen combines to become water, two molecules of hydrogen and two atoms, H2O, two atoms of hydrogen, an atom of oxygen combined to become water. But before you came to know that water was existing, that means somebody knew that. So it is not that you discover something and then call it an invention. There can never be an invention because it has already been invented before the dawn of creation. If you don't know the technology, some people may say, I don't know, people who are not knowing the technology of flying. The Wright brothers invented this aircraft. No, birds were flying. Somebody knew the technology, then only the birds were created. You may say it is nature, but whose nature? Somebody's nature. So knowledge is eternal. You learn it, that's all. Knowledge is eternal, and this eternal knowledge is in the Vedas. As soon as we hear the word Vedas, we think it must be abstract, something spiritual. No. Veda contains all kinds of knowledge, both spiritual and material. But Vedas are very complicated, and only 6% of the Vedic knowledge is available, because 94% is lost for a period of time. And if you even have been not lost, but still very difficult to understand Veda because of its nature. Sanskrit, Vedic Sanskrit is different from Laukika Sanskrit. Laukika Sanskrita means the Sanskrit that we use for conversation. That is very easy to learn. But Vedic Sanskrit very difficult to learn. And since the Vedic Sanskrit is there, very difficult and very few people are there who can teach. So very difficult to learn the Veda. So Puranas come into picture. Puranas, Itihasas, Agamas, and we have the Vedangas. These are known as the Smriti Prasthana. Shruti means something which is learned by hearing. Smriti means something which comes out of somebody's memory. For example, I'm teaching this class to you. And tomorrow your friend meets in your office somewhere, in your college, wherever you go. Yeah, you say, yesterday I was in a program. Then they ask you, what was it all about? You said darshanas. Then they ask you, what is, can you explain? You speak for 10 minutes. You heard this class for an hour and a half, and you speak for 10 minutes. You speak not exactly the words which I spoke, but you speak in your own language, whatever you did in your memory, according to the person whom you're meeting. So that is called Smriti, something which comes from the memory of a sage who has learned the Shruti very nicely, is known as Smriti. So Shruti and Smriti. In Smriti, there are so many different categories of knowledge. That is Vedangas. These Vedangas are like this. There are Siksha, Vyakarana, Yukti, Chanda, Jyotish, and Kalpa. So these are 6 categories of Vedangas. How to pronounce Siksha. Like when you go to school, you learn A, B, C, like that. A, E, U, U, A, like that. Then you have Siksha, Vyakarana, when the words combine, when the combination of words, combination of syllables, Samasa and Sandhi, these are known as Vyakarana, Siksha, Vyakarana, Nirukti. Nirukti is there, that is dictionary, Vedic dictionary. And Diksha, Vyakarana, Nirukti, Chanda, the way to pronounce, the way to chant the mantras, way to chant the slokas. Then Jyotish, what to do at what time. And code of conduct of life, how to sit, how to stand, how to dress, all these things, Kalpasutras. Apart from this, you have Puranas. These Puranas are talking about historical events and also inspiring us to do what the Shruti says. From the Shruti, original 4 Vedas, you get to know what to do, and in the Smriti, you get to know how to do. There is a difference between Shruti and Smriti. If you want in one line, what is Shruti and what is Smriti? In Shruti, you have what they've been told what to do. And the next question arises how to do. That is all in the Puranas, in the Itihasas, in the Vedangas, in the Agamas, Pancharatras. They all explain what to do. How to do. So that is why the language of the Shruti is that of a master telling the servant. A master who tells the servant, do it. But how to do, that only friend will tell. The language of the Puranas is like that. Like a friend would tell other friend in that how to do things, which are told in the Smriti. Shruti, what the Shruti says, the original 4 Vedas says, how to execute it, mentioned in the Smriti Shastras. Now, question arises, that is, why to do? When somebody asks a question, why to do? That means if somebody is a mad person, Veda is telling just do it. Okay, Purana is telling how to do it. But we are educated, no? That is why we become mad and crooked. And we have this so-called ignorance called intelligence. Then we ask this question, why? Why should I do? Why should I chant Hare Krishna? Why should I follow 4 regulative principles? Why I should read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita? Why I should attend satsang program? Because we are too intelligent. That is why we ask this question. So when the ignorance reaches to the highest level of voltage, that is called intelligence. Tamasa buddhi. Tamasa buddhi. So when people we think that we are PhD, we are MTech, MSc. No, the more degrees you get, the more ignorance you accumulate. So to destroy that ignorance, which is of the highest order, Tamasa buddhi, comes the Nyaya Prasthana. The Nyaya Prasthana is a challenge which talks about ignorance in a systematic way. It also talks about knowledge in a systematic way in the form of defeating ignorance. So these are all very highly complicated subject matters, because just imagine any thought process which had come to billions of people who appeared in the past, which is going to come in the billions of people who are going to come in future, which is appearing now in the billions of people on this planet. They all has to be harmonized. When you say thought process of a conditioned soul, it means ignorance. It may be a very high level thought process, that like Arjuna. If you see the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's thought process was so high grade that people will be amazed. Think, oh, we thought Arjuna is a fool. He's talking some high level things. He is saying Krishna, this fighting and all is for those who are pound shelling people, who are into the Shastras and Dharmika. Dharmika scriptures, religious scriptures are far superior to scriptures of economics. I don't want to have low class people. Why? I don't want to fight with them because they are low class and high class. And how can I kill my relatives? Even if they are sinful, sins will affect me. What will happen in war? Consequences of war. So if you hear Arjuna speaking very high grade things, but it's all high grade ignorance. That is, in one verse, Krishna told you, you're a fool to talk like this. This is what PhD is. When you do a PhD, it's actually researching on one's ignorance or researching others' ignorance. And you create another ignorance called a thesis. And you get another ignorance called a doctorate. So, but these ignorances which people have been accumulating from time immemorial, in these 6 systems of philosophy, these kinds of ignorance, all the PhDs in different areas, they all been very systematically arranged. That is called Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purvimamsa, Uttarimamsa. A systematic presentation of ignorance, high-grade ignorance. That is called 6 systems of philosophy. So if somebody is crooked, then he gets to know these ignorances. And if somebody is fortunate, he also gets to know how to defeat these kinds of ignorances. So that is what is the subject matter of this particular course, which is generally spans to 10 classes, 8, but actually I've been asked to speak something in 3 classes. So I'll just try to summarize things, not much, to just give you some idea, salient features. But the notes I give for the entire introductory course of 6 systems of philosophy. So I'll not be more teaching you because you all have a lot of brains. So I'll just speak for an hour and we'll have half an hour question answers. Now, the Nyaya Prasthana deals with these things. You have Upanishads, which is known as Vedanta. In the Vedas, there are 2 categories of knowledge. One is known as how to live in this world, one category of knowledge. Another category of knowledge is how to get out of this world. Like how to get into the train, that is one thing. Other one, the purpose of getting into the train is to get out of the train. We don't get into the train to stay in the train forever. We don't get into engineering college to stay in the college. We get into engineering college to get out of it. Even though you may be getting an admission, the best of the college. You got admission to IIT, for what? You are so happy to get into it. But if you think why you got into it is only to get out of it. When you'll be most happy? You get into IIT or get out of IIT? And we all know it very well. The day you got out of it, that's the most happiest day. So actually the purpose of getting to IIT is to get out of it, not to stay there. If somebody thinks, I am the most senior person in IIT, I'm here for 10 years. You fool, you have been failing every year. So you're an idiot, being more senior. So you're supposed to get out of it. Purpose of getting into IIT is to get out. The purpose of getting into this world is to get out, not to stay. Don't make plans to stay in this world. It's foolishness. Like if you've got a house on rent, you'll not spend 10 lakh rupees on interiors. Your rent is only 1 lakh rupees a year. And you're spending 10 lakh rupees on interiors of the house. Foolishness. So this body is a rented house. And the purpose of staying in the body is to get out of this body, get out of this house. Nobody can stay in this body. It's like a house eternally. So you have to get out. So how to get out of this world? That is mentioned in the Upanishads. That is why it is known as Vedanta. And when these sages asked one question to the Upanishads, they asked one question to all the Upanishads. That is, what is the source of everything? That is the question. And that is the question of everyone. Like when somebody comes to the house, where did you come from? When you bring something to somebody, they say, where did you bring it from? It is a natural question, natural inquiry in everybody's mind, where everything came from. Where did I come from? Where did she come from? He come from? Where did you come from? Like when you travel abroad, then they'll ask, where are you coming from? They see the passport, there is a visa or not. So it is a very natural question everybody has to ask. where things came from, where everything comes from. Janmadhyasya. That was the question asked to the Upanishads. So all the philosophical inquiry boils down to this one question, that is where everything comes from. If you answer that question, where everything comes from, all questions are answered. So when the sages asked this question to the Vedas or the Upanishads, then different sages came to different conclusions. So Gautama, when he asked this question to the Upanishads, he concluded and he wrote his conclusion in the form of sutras, how known as Nyaya Sutras. And he concluded atoms are the source of everything. Atoms are the source of everything. And then after Gautama, you have Kannada. When he asked the question to the Vedic literatures where everything came from, he got an answer. That is, combination of atoms are the source of everything. Then that became Vaisheshika. When Nyaya Vaisheshika Samkhya, when Kapila asked the question to the Upanishads, where everything comes from, then everything comes from nature. So then he wrote Sankhya Sutras. When Patanjali asked the same question, where everything comes from, Upanishads, then Patanjali got an answer, that is universal consciousness is the source of everything. When Jaimini asked the same question, he got an answer, that is karma is the source of everything. And when Vyasa asked this question, where everything comes from, then he concluded Brahman is the source of everything. In this way, you have the 6 systems of philosophy. Nyaya Vaisheshika Sankhya Uparamamsa. These are Shad Darshans. There are 6 systems of philosophy. So if you have this file in front of you called their position, their position. So in that you have these 6 systems of philosophy and introduction. Now the 6 systems of philosophy are known as the Vedanta, or they're known as the Nyaya Prasthana, and they all require a bhashya. They have a commentary. Each system is a very elaborate system of study. If you do a PhD in Nyaya, then it at least takes 15-20 years to know what exactly it is. So it's very elaborate, each system, and there were many commentaries to it. And these are developed by not ordinary people. Gautama, Kannada, they are very, very intelligent people, great tapasvis. They are all the brains put together now, who are scientists are there, all the PhDs now in the world. You put all the brains put together. It is not even 1/10,000 of Gautama's brain. So that's the brain of Gautama. You understand? So it's not ordinary brain, Gautama. Just imagine that Gautama wrote something 5,000 years, 2,000 years back, many years, even before that. We don't know when he wrote actually. There is no time. Gautama wrote this thing. Before Vyasa, because Vyasa defeats Gautama. All the systems of philosophy are defeated by Vyasa. That means they are minimum 5,000 years old. And for thousands of years, people are studying it, but they're not able to really make out what exactly Gautama is saying. So they're not ordinary people, the great sages. Now, our study of the 6 systems of philosophy will be the following way. So let us see what the 6 systems of philosophy are. So I'm not going to go the entire summary of the entire thing. I'll just give you a brief of it, because it's a crash course on 6 systems of philosophy. So here you see the page of their position. Before we go into the discussion, we pay obeisances to Vyasa, as spoken by Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu. The Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, giving a commentary on Vedanta Sutras, he composes his words paying obeisances to Vyasa. Krishna Daipayanam Navami Sankhya Yukti Kantakan Chitva Yukta Sina Vishwam Krishna Krida Stalam Vedat. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasam Krishna Dvaipayanam Navami. I pay obeisance to Krishna Dvaipayana. You know, Vyasa is known as Krishna Dvaipayana because he was born in a Dvipa, an island in Yamuna River. There is an island with Yamuna River. The place is still there. Vyasa's birthplace. He is Krishna because he is dark in complexion. Navami I pay obeisance to Krishna Dvaipayana. Yaha Sankhya Yukti Kantakan. So, Yaha Yukti Kantakan, Kantaka, Sankhya Kantakan. He compares the philosophies like Sankhya, Nyaya Vaisheshika Sankhya, etc. as Kantaka, they are thorns. What did he do, Vyasa? Yukti, by his Vedanta Sutra, Chitva Yukyasinaha Vishwam. He cut off all the thorns and he made the entire world as a playground. Krishna Krida Sthalam, a playground for Krishna. Krishna Krida Sthalam Vedat. Very interesting that if you want your children to play on a ground, you have to clear the ground with all the kantakas. So these philosophies, the 6 systems of philosophies, if you say Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purvamsa, Uttarvimamsa, Nyamayavada, it's been probably become 6. So these 6 systems of philosophy, considering Uttarvimamsa's Mayavada, then they are kantakas, they are like thorns. Then what did Vyasa do? He cleared off all the 6 systems of philosophy, Chitva, Yuktasina, with the sword of Vedanta Sutras. And then he made the entire world as a playground for Krishna to come and dance and play. Now, when the time Vyasa wrote the Vedanta Sutras, Krishna had disappeared. Then why is Vyasa, why is Baladev Vidyabhushan writing that by writing Brahma Sutras, Vyasa cleared the entire field, which is the world, with all the kantakas, and made it a playground for Krishna to come and play. Which Krishna? Krishna is already gone. Which Krishna? Krishna Chaitanya. So Krishna Chaitanya can come and it can become the Krida Sthalam, Krishna Krida Sthalam Vedhat. So it can become the playground for Krishna to play on this world. Which Krishna Chaitanya? So they can dance. So if you dance, then you require the ground to be without any thorns, otherwise thorns will prick. So Vyasa, he wrote the Vedanta Sutras so that all the 6 systems of philosophy are completely smashed and defeated and their thorns are removed, so that we all can raise our hands, jump and dance and do Harinam. So to dance with Chaitanya, do Nam Sankirtan, our consciousness should be cleared of all these kantakas. Are there, these kantakas are there. Like somebody says, oh, Prabhu, I want a very comfortable situation so I can chant. So this is what philosophy is. It is not Vaishnavism. It is actually Karmamamsa. So that you please that until unless I have got a certain kind of facility, I cannot do my chanting. I cannot do certain activities. Somebody would say, on the garb of devotion, they would say, actually speaking, everything in this world is automatically going on. This is what is this philosophy, automatically going on. No. How can there be any automation without consciousness behind it? It's all Nyaya Vaisheshika, even sometimes Sankhya. At least Sankhya, they accept that the Purusha, the living entity, is conscious. So, Krishna Dvaipayanam Navami, Yah Sankhya Yukti Kandhakan, Chitva Yukta Asinam Vishwam, Krishna Krida Sthalam Vedat. Now comes, where is the 6 systems of philosophy described in the Bhagavad Gita? So you may be wondering where it is, Rishivir Bahuta Gitam Chando Vidhai Prakat. Brahma Sutra Vadaischaiva Hetuvir hetu madhyat vinishchitaihi. In the verse, there is a description that how Rishivir Pahuda Gitam, Rishivihi, many rishis have spoken about the truth. Chandobihi, even Chandobihi also talks about this truth. Brahma Sutra also talks about this truth. Chandobihi is original Vedas. Brahma Sutra Cheva, it is described in Brahma Sutras by method of logic and reasoning, cause and effect. So, what is the truth? The question is, what is Brahman? Brahma Pucham Pratishita. The whole world is actually manifestation of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, through his energies, manifests this world. So there is an aspect of Supreme Lord in this world at 5 levels. They are known as Annamaya, Pranamaya, Jnanamaya, or Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. So this is known as Brahma Pucham, and it is found in the Upanishads, especially Taittiriya Upanishad. There is Bhruguvalli, a section called Bhruguvalli. And this is how actually the Veda is taught. I'm just giving you all these things so that you have an understanding that how the Vedic learning is totally different. Bhrugovai varunhi, Om Sahana Bhotu Sahano Bhunuktu Sahano Viryam Taravavahi, Yasvina Vidamastu Mavid Vishavahi, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, Bhrugurvai Varunihi, Bhrugu, the son of Varuna, he approached his father Varuna. Bhrugu went to his father Varuna. And he asked that Adihi Bhagavato Brahmeti Tasmadham Tasmaditat Provacha Annam Pranam Chakshustutram Manochamsi Tam Hovacha Ito Vaimani Bhutani Jayante Yena Jatani Jivanti Yat Prayanta Visham Vishanti Tad Jigyasaswat Tad Brahmeti. Then he asked his father, what is Brahman? From where everything comes from, by whom everything is maintained, and from by whom after Pralaya, into whom everything enters. So I want to know who is this, what is this Brahman? So then the father says, I will not tell. Go and herd the cows. So this is how Vedic knowledge is revealed. Not in the classroom and having AC and having the PPT and all these things. No knowledge, only information comes. That's all. Knowledge doesn't come. Knowledge comes when you are closer to Prakriti. When you are in the forest, when you go herd the cows. What did Krishna do? Whole day herding the cows. When you take care of the cows, the cow dung gives you, when you lift the cow dung, that gives you knowledge. The AC rooms don't give any knowledge. AC rooms only give sleep, that's all. Somebody is sleeping, closing their eyes, somebody is opening their eyes, that's all. Two kinds of students are there. One student sleeping, opening the eyes, like fish. Other student, and one professor, he said talking, he's sleeping and talking. So, sa tapo taptva guru tapasya tad jigyasa tad brahmeti sa tapo taptya sa tapas tapta pratamo anuakya. Now he goes and does research. Actually, study comes by research. But the research, field research, not classroom research, not even internet research. I researched the internet, you got information. One marketing student would say, I did a lot of research and made a PPT. Wonderful. 100 marks for your PPT, 100 marks for your presentation. Now, I want you that you go and sell and make money and give me. I don't know. What is the use? So one who doesn't know how to make PPT, who doesn't know XYZ of what is presentation and all, he is selling. So he'll be appointed because he has done the hard work, hard labor. So this is actually a Vedic system. Actually, we are spoiling the entire student community by making them sit in the classroom. 1 hour enough. Then go out. beg. You understand what is humility. Don't come to classroom with the pride that I have given the fees. I have given the fees. Stupid 10,000 rupees, you want to get knowledge from your teacher. No, this is not the system. So the system is that you beg, you become humility. When you become humble, then you know you are not the controller. So this pocket money is spoiling all the students, all the children. They think that their fathers are giving money to the school so that they want education. What education they will get? Nothing they'll get. They'll become zombies on nothing. So this is the system of education. His father told the son, go get lost, go to the forest. He did research. He had a good observation. He came and told his father, Annam brahmed vijanat, annadeva kalvidanu imami bhutani jayante, annena jatani jivanti, annam prayanta visham vishantiti, tad dignaya punare varno pitanam vasasara adiye bhagavato brahmeti. He came and told his father, I found out, Eureka, Eureka. Why did you found out? I found this Brahman is God, Anna is God, food is God, roti kapda makan, first roti, bhuka pet kya, bhajan kya karega? First, pet puja, baad Bhagavan ki puja. All these philosophies come from this Annamaya consciousness. Bhuka pet kaise bhajan hoga? Aapka pet bhuka hai nahi. Bhajan kyun nahi kar rahe ho? Idiot. So, he's filled stomach and he's talking a philosophy. Bhuka pet kaise bhajan hoga? Then your pet is full. Now, why don't you do bhajan? Bhara hua pet bhajan kar raha hai kya? So, do you think everybody whose stomach is full is doing bhajan? Why are you talking about bhuka pet bhajan kaise hoga? So, these are all nonsensical, idiotic philosophies. Work is worship. This is another nonsense philosophy. This all comes from Annamaya consciousness. So, he rejected it. He found out that everything in this world is food. Animal eats food, he saw in the forest, because of it, it is growing. And the food is becoming another animal. Maybe one baby is born because of this animal eating food. And ultimately, that animal becomes food for another animal. So, first, Anna Devahi Bhutani Jayante. From food, everything comes. By food, everything is maintained. And ultimately, the food becomes a food for other animal. It enters, it becomes food. That is why Veda also talks about Anna Brahma. Hamannam, Hamannam, Hamannado, Hamannadaha. So this is how the Upanishads talk about the Annamaya consciousness. So there are so many philosophies which are springing out of this Annamaya consciousness. The father says, get lost again. No, Anna is not Brahman. It is only one aspect of Brahman. Then he goes. The father asks a question to him, says, if everybody is sustained by Anna, why people are dying? Number two, if everybody is sustained only, if everything is only food, those who have enough food should be happy. Why a person who went to a 5-star hotel with his wife and he had plenty of food to eat, but when they came out, they had divorced. You know why? Because she did not like what he likes. He did not like what she likes. Let her eat what she likes. Let him eat what she likes. No, just because I don't like what you eat, and you don't like what I need, they divorce. So plenty of food is there to eat, but still divorce is happening. Why? So there's something else beyond it. You go find out. Then he went. Then he came back. Prana is everything. He came back and told, my dear father, Prano Brahmed Vijanat, Pranat, Pranat Deva Kalvidhani Bhutani Jayante, Pranena Jatani Jivanti, Pranam Pratyat Visham Vishanti. So in this way, he told, no, Prana is also not. In this way, Pranamaya, Jnanamaya, when he realized that everything is only based on bliss, Ananda, then the father told, Varuni told, my dear son, Yes, you are right. Anando brahmeti vijanat. Anandat eva kalvimani bhutani jayante. Anandena jatani jivanti. Anandam pratyamisham vishanti. Saisha bhargavi varuni vidya. Sa esha. This bhargavi varuni vidya. Parame vyomam pratishtita. So he will be established in Parame Vyom Pratishtha, means he will be situated in the spiritual world. And not only that, in the material world also. Sayaya Veda Pratishteti Annava Ando Bhavati. He becomes blissful and he becomes eater of food and he gets great fame and he becomes resident in the spiritual world. So in this way, this very interesting conversation that was necessary for anybody who wants to get into six systems of philosophy, because you have five koshas, and the philosophies are springing out of these five koshas. And this philosophy springs out from the Anandamaya kosha is Vaishnavism. Kevala Ananda Kanda. So Vaishnavas, that is why the philosophy of Vaishnavism gives you real Ananda, real bliss. You don't require anything else, you'll be always blissful. Even if you don't get food, you're Ananda. So that's the Vaishnava philosophy. Vaishnava means he's always happy, because his philosophy is directly taking to the highest voltage of manifestation of the Lord, Supreme Lord. God is his word, true, but different levels of manifestation of God are there. The highest level of manifestation of God is to make you experience bliss, because we are all striving for this bliss. Unless you have this, there is no way that you can really be happy. So, there are some common features in the six systems of philosophy. That is, all of them accept Veda as authority. That is why we discuss them. Buddhism and Jain were defeated by Vyasa in Vedanta Sutras. But traditionally, of course, now we discuss them and then defeat them, Buddhists and Jains. But traditionally, they are not Yogya for Vada. Traditionally, of course, only Madhvacharya started this Vada. Why Madhvacharya started? Because Kali Yuga has become very corrupt because of Jainism and Buddhism. So he had to defeat them. Why they are not qualified for any discussion? Because they don't accept Veda as authority. Buddhism and Jainism, they are non-Vedic atheism. Nyaya Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purnamsa, Uttarmimamsa, Mayavad Uttarmimamsa, they are all Vedic atheism. So, one sense, they are all Vedic because they accept Veda as Pramana. Now, if you see these, according to the koshas, you have a table which is there. Annamaya kosha, conditioned state of consciousness. Everybody is contemplating food. Why are you working? Always thinking of eating. Always thinking of where will I get my food? Where will I get my food? So Annamaya consciousness, they pursue dharma and artha. The goal is bhukti, enjoyment. And the philosophies which are springing out of these, this Annamaya consciousness is Nyaya Vaisheshika. Pranamaya consciousness, from there is also conditioned state of consciousness. They are all thinking of security. What nonsense. If somebody is having 10 crore rupees but still is afraid, what is going to happen to me? 10 crore rupees in the bank, but still is having fear. Pranamaya, what's going to happen to me? So he may kill his own wife and children because he's afraid that they may kill him and then take all the money. So for whom he has worked hard and accumulated so much of money, he becomes fearful of them only. Many cases like that. So, and their whole idea is defending, because four things are common between humans and animals. So, defending is a whole philosophy which is talking about defense, security. It's all pranamaya consciousness. Putin is into pranamaya consciousness. He's thinking of security of Russia. And for that, he wants to destroy the other country. And he gets destroyed also. He's destroying his country by destroying the other country, neighboring country. What happens if you put a bomb in your neighbor's house? What will happen? The smoke comes to you also. So this is what is happening. You name an event in this world, you name a thought process in this world by anybody, it all can be defined into these koshas, into these six systems of philosophy. Dharma, artha, kama. And then bhukti, their goal is also bhukti. So if I'm secure, I can enjoy. How can I enjoy without security? So somebody gives you a nice plate of food in front of you. Puri, sabji, dal, rice, gulab jamun, jalebis, your rabdi, you have all kinds of things. Wonderful. And then, what is this? Cow takes a gun. How? Will you eat? No. So, ultimately, you want security so that you can enjoy. So, yoga, purvimamsa, these two philosophies spring from there. Mayomana consciousness, conditioned state of consciousness. There is some kind of philosophical approach in Manomaya. Yeah, dunya mein sab aise hi hota. And Marwadi puts a sticker in front of his shop saying that Gita Sar. In the Gita Sar, jo hua acha hua, jo hone wala hai wohi acha hai. Kya leke aaye the, kya leke jayenge. Khali hath aaye the, khali hath jayenge. He seems to be very philosophical, but it's not, this Gita Sar is not Gita Sar, it is his Sar. A Marwadi who lost all his property in his business. In frustration, he spoke something. And few others wrote it down and put a sticker in front of every shop. You go and slap the Marwadi who is sitting in the shop putting the sticker, Gita Sar. Hey, mujhe kyun mara? Dikha na, jo hua acha hua, jo hoga wohi acha hoga. What is this? This is not Gita Sar. So some kind of philosophical approach to mind. So this is another contemplation, that is philosophical approach towards life. And this is sleeping. So all the big talks of socialism, you name it, all these isms, big talks of United Nations. Now, what is United Nations? Is our Manomaya consciousness, conditioned state of consciousness, philosophical approach. Now you go and telling Russia, and we're going to put sanctions, and after sanctions, but they are sleeping. They tell Ukraine, don't worry, we are there with you. But all this is only philosophy, but they are sleeping. So they are sleeping. And dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they want some kind of liberation, which is a far distant dream. And they want siddhis. Siddhis means to achieve something which others cannot achieve. To do something and show something to people which others cannot do, and take pleasure. To take pleasure in doing something which others cannot do. That's called siddhi. That's called siddhi. Is all coming from manomaya consciousness. Is another ignorance. Just you're able to walk on water, others cannot walk. Then you become, just see, I'm so great. This is all coming from manomaya consciousness, siddhi. And this is all Sankhya. Because the conditioning of Sankhya makes a person thinks that I want to do something better than that person. Of course, what is the use in making you, in sleeping better than that person, singing better than that person, or eating better than that person? There's nothing. This is not nothing to do with you. Can there be anybody better than gymnastics in Del Monkey? You see gymnastics. All this what? Monkey. Monkey can do better. But you want to compete with the monkey and show that I can do better something. All coming from Sankhya. Vijnanamaya, conditioned consciousness, semi-conditioned consciousness, we say. You have a distinction between body and soul, but you don't know what is soul. Of course, you get mukti and ultimately Uttaramamsa or impersonal Brahmimamsa. Anandamaya, Uttaramamsa. I'm understanding servant of Krishna. This is real mukti. So this is what is the summary of the six systems of philosophy in comparison with koshas, 5 koshas. Stages are alive, conditioned or liberated. Contemplation, that is food security, philosophical approach, etc. Knowledge of eating, mating, sleeping, defending, and pursue dharmartha kam moksha in comparison dharmartha kam moksha, and ultimately categorization, six systems of philosophy. Okay. Now, there are some common features. I just go through this thing. Accept authority Veda, all of them. They are classified as astika. Astika means they are not atheistic, they are theistic. Now, Nyaya Vaisheshika, Sankhya, especially Sankhya, because Nyaya Vaisheshika also, Ishwarena Siddhe, Sankhya says, Ishvara is not true, are not required. Siddhe is not required. So, though they are openly atheistic, but they are classified as theistic because they six systems of philosophy, all those propounding the six systems of philosophy, they argue and establish Veda as pramana. So, atheism in theism is not based on whether somebody is accepting God or not. It's based on accepting Veda. If you're accepting Veda as pramana, then you are theistic. If you are not accepting Veda as pramana, though you may say, I accept existence of God, you are atheistic. In one sense, Quran, those who accept only Quran, not Veda, the Muslims and Christians, though they say God, Allah, Jehovah, are all atheistic because they don't accept Veda. If only those who accept Veda as pramana can be called theistic, even though they say no God. Very interesting. And Buddhism and Jain, of course, they are non-Vedic, at the same time atheistic. They defeat them. And every philosophy has a particular sage who has propounded this particular sutra. So all the sages, they derive their philosophy from the same source, that is Upanishads. So some principles like karma, etc., they are same now in the systems of philosophy. So everybody talks about soul, and they accept soul is conscious, but therefore some people consciousness made up of matter. So that is also there. So some people accept reincarnation, or all of them accept reincarnation and law of karma. Then unless we are in the material world, we are suffering, and suffering ends. The purpose of philosophy is to end our suffering. There are some kind of sadhana for which you can attain self-realization, and Brahminical culture is the goal. Is commonly accepted by everyone. All say we should be Brahmanas, we should be clean, we should study scriptures, etc. Okay, so now the entire conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakasha and Saraswati. So I just did the essential part of it. So Prakasha and Saraswati, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted Prakasha and Saraswati. So Prakasha and Saraswati, he says these words. Hey grantha karta chaye se mata sapide shastrera sahajarta nahi tara paite. Anybody who wants to establish his own opinion or philosophy, he cannot explain any scripture according to the principles of direct interpretation. Now they say those who are Mimamsakas, Mimamsaka hai, Ishvara hai, Karmera anga. Mimamsakas, they say that Karmera anga, God is subservient to karma. That means if you have done good, God has to give you good. If you have done bad, God will give you. Has to. Means your karma can control God. That is their understanding. Nyaya ko hai, paramanu hai, te vishwa hai, sankhya ko hai, jagata prakriti karana prasanta. Sankhya says the whole world is coming from material nature. Nyaya ko hai, paramanu hai, te vishwa hai. The Nyaya philosopher says everything comes from paramanu. Mayavadi nirvishesha brahma hai tu hai. Mayavadi say everything comes from nirvishesha Brahman. And Patanjali ko hai, Ishvara hai, Swarupa Jnana. Vedamate Kahenara Swayam Bhagavan. Patanjali says everything comes from universal consciousness. And Veda Mate Kohe Tara Swayam Bhagavan. Actually, the Veda says everything comes from Lord Krishna. Chayara Chaya Mato Vyasa Paile our Tan say Sava Sutralana Vedanta Varnan. So Vyasa, he took all the 6 systems of philosophy, summarized them, and then defeated them with Vedanta philosophy. Vedanta Mate Brahma Sakar Nirupan Nirguna Vedika says so Sakam. The Vedanta philosophy of absolute truth is being described as Nirguna and without material qualities. Also, it is described as Saguna because it is got spiritual qualities. So this is where you have the discussion where, in summary, all the 6 systems of philosophy is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, now the purpose of this course, I'll just briefly tell you why we are to have some understanding of this course. Present fully the theistic views of Bhagavatam in defense of all the systems. That is Swamata Sthapana. Swamata Sthapana, Paramata Kandana. These are the 2 important things when you are talking philosophy. Swamata Sthapana means establishing your own philosophy. And Paramata Kandana means destroying others' philosophy. Both has to be done simultaneously. You destroy others' philosophy, not you go to their place and destroy them like that. You have to have the logic to prove that they are wrong so that you can become convinced and your followers can become convinced about the strength of your philosophy. Srila Prabhupada in the purport, in the first canto, first chapter, 7th verse, he says that one can sit on the Vyasasana only after being conversant with the 6 systems of philosophy, all the systems of philosophy, so that one can fully present the theistic views of Bhagavatam in defense with all other systems. So, if you want to present Bhagavatam nicely, then you need to have the knowledge of the 6 systems of philosophy, so that you can present the Bhagavatam views very nicely. Now, Paramata Kandana. So somebody may challenge, Sarvedanta Saramhe Bhagavatam Vishyate, Rasam Sya Nanyatra Sya Kvachit, Pratik Kvachit. Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedanta philosophy. And one who has felt satisfaction from this, the Kiran will never be attracted to the scriptures. So Paramata Kandana. And Sadharma Pricha, there is a third purpose of this course. Siddhanta Muni Chittana Karyalas. Don't become lazy on the name of philosophy, because by studying philosophy, your faith in your philosophy becomes strong. Your Krishna, your faith in Krishna becomes very strong. So these are all the purpose of this course. And the rest is self-evident. You're all intelligent people, so you can read this thing. So now what is the time? It is 8:36. So before we enter Nyaya, any questions? Please do ask. I'll give a small, if time is left, I'll give a small introduction to Nyaya. Hare Krishna.
So the participants, either they can unmute themselves, or if they wish, they can type in the chat box also. I'll take it up. So
you can ask, unmute yourself and ask question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please.
My name is Rajaraj Govindadas.
Yeah,
please. Questions, you can show your divine face.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think.
Why all are hiding?
I don't know.
Okay.
They are afraid of you.
Just a minute, Prabhu.
Yeah, it would be good if participants can open up their videos. Otherwise, it's all. It looks
like I'm addressing Brahman.
Yeah.
Brahman realized.
Yeah, right. So please go ahead with the question.
Akhilesh is showing Brahman. Akhilesh Kumar, Brahman is coming. Yeah, ask question. Yes, somebody was asking question. You should
Yeah.
ask.
If he's not ready, then others may start asking. Yeah, before I think no. Before others ask, maybe I can in between ask a question. So, Prabhu, you are talking about the kosas. So, is it? I believe it's not really perceivable, or it's just a construct to explain things. Is it physical? Physical in the sense, in the subtle, exists in the subtle body, or how do you see it?
Annamaya is the physical body made up of mucus, bile, and air.
Okay.
And pranamaya is the thing which connects the gross to the subtle, like prana. Now, when you have a running race, then you get a gold medal in your running race. You cleared 100 meters in, say, taking some the local standard, 100 meters in 15 seconds. Okay. Now, once it so happened, a dog started running behind him. You clear the same 100 meters in 8 seconds. You break the world record. Now tell me, what is the difference? When you ran for gold medal, that energy was coming from the Annamaya muscles and some little bit prana because you have prana in the gold. But when the dog is after you, your real prana is in stake.
Right. Yeah,
so that is called prana. Where did it come from?
Right.
Then manomaya, mind. Vijnanamaya, semi-spiritual. Understanding that there is something beyond the body called spirit, but exactly you don't know what it is. Anandamaya is Krishna and serving Krishna, devotion. That is Anandamaya.
Yeah, right. So it parallels with a person, even though maybe very fat, but he may not be able to labor very hard. But somebody who may be looking very thin, lean, but he may be working like whole 24 hours.
Yes.
Kind of different levels.
Yeah. Yes.
So other questions? Yeah, Brajaraj Govind. That's true. Please, you had some question.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your very nice presentation. As you mentioned towards the end, that Prabhupada has written in the first canto that anybody sitting on the Vyasasana should be conversant with the 6 systems of philosophy.
Yeah.
I am a devotee for last decade or so, and I have what I have observed is that even if we tell to devotees that I want to learn Sanskrit, immediately it is not encouraged. That is what I have seen. And what to speak of understanding this kind of shastras which are given by the different rishis. So I just wanted to know, Prabhuji, why is there some resistance in going out of what Prabhupada has given in his books? Because these things, as far as I know, you may correct me if I am wrong, but are there any authorities in this subject from whom we can learn? And is it necessary?
Any bona fide text where you can refer?
Yes, because how we can get this knowledge?
Questions in one question.
Yeah.
Many questions in one question. Number 1. You don't have to go and tell I am learning Sanskrit. You learn Sanskrit and you put a board, I want to teach Sanskrit. Then you get many. Why you tell I'm learning, where I'm learning? Have you told to all your friends, I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning. Don't have to. Learn. All the scriptures are in Sanskrit, and you're young, you've got intelligence. Learn. If you don't learn Sanskrit now, you'll suffer like me. I'm suffering for that. I'm suffering. I'm repenting every day that I spent the most precious time in my life in stupid school getting some stupid certificates. From the age of 5 to the age of 21, I spent in a school, a college, where whatever time I spent, whatever learned has no value. So learn Sanskrit. You learn Sanskrit, create a culture of learning Sanskrit. That's because all the scriptures are in that language. And it gives sattvic, it's the language of Sattva. So this is one. Number 2, that is why we should, Prabhupada's this thing of learned in 6 systems of philosophy. Now, there are 2 ways or 2 levels in which you learn 6 systems of philosophy. Number 1 is to study Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, independently, going to the teachers who are teaching that. They are teachers who are teaching that. Genuine teachers are there. You can learn. Going to they're not Vaishnavas. They have no understanding of Vedanta and what they teach. But that requires that you had restrict yourself to at least 15-20 years of studying those things and to write a thesis and do research. We require some people like that also. Definitely. And other ways, you study the Vedanta, Govinda Bhashya, Ramanuja Bhashya, Sri Bhashya, Madhva Bhashya. And then in those Vedanta Sutras, our Acharyas have brought up the 6 systems of philosophy and they have showed where they are wrong and refuted their objections and refuted their philosophy. In the Vedanta Sutra, 2nd chapter, 1st part, 1st pada. There are 4 padas in each chapter. There are 4 chapters. In each chapter is of 4 padas. In the 2nd chapter, 1st pada of the Vedanta Sutra, the opponent's objections are destroyed. In the 2nd chapter, 2nd pada, their core ideology or core philosophical points are destroyed, are refuted. It's about refuted. So if you are able to study, you have practically a very nice understanding of what these philosophies are and what is the consciousness of the people, what is the thought process which are existing in this world, which are having their roots in these philosophies. And we require the preachers, the frontline preachers, the firebrand preachers, those who are in the war front. They need to have this understanding. It is compulsory for them. And of course, those who are in general devotees, they should at least know the names of the systems of philosophy, and which they should know Vedanta refutes them. So at least I expect you all to be 2nd category, if not the 1st one. Now your 3rd point is about Prabhupada books, why devotees are restricting themselves only to Prabhupada books. Actually, if you are restricting yourself to be into Prabhupada books, then you will have an unrestricted access to the knowledge of existing the entire cosmos. I would say Srila Prabhupada books are the key for the treasure house of knowledge, unlimited knowledge. So if you don't have Prabhupada books, you'll be just going around the library and coming out with nothing. If you have Prabhupada books, you'll be going around the entire library of any philosophy in this world and coming up with a clear understanding of Vaishnava philosophy. So these are speciality Prabhupada books. So Prabhupada books never restrict only his books, because in the first canto, first chapter, first verse, purport, Srila Prabhupada says that to better relish Srimad Bhagavatam, one should study the books of the previous acharyas, like Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, Sripada Sanatana Goswami, Vallabha Acharya, and all these great acharyas' names. I'll read the particular section. Now, within the past 500 years, first canto, first chapter, verse number 1. Within the past 500 years, many erudite scholars and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, Vallabha Acharya, and many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentaries on Bhagavatam. Now, goes here, the important line. Varadaja Govinda Das Garu. Please listen. And a serious student would do well to attempt to go through them to better relish the transcendental message. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, a serious student would do well. Now, how Prabhupada is restricting? Yes, we are restricting to his books, but we restricting to his books is opening a whole arena of different wide range of books. Okay. So ultimately, I answered your 3 questions.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Can I ask a question, Prabhu?
yeah, please
Prabhu,
please keep
many
it
thanks
short.
for it.
Yeah.
So I don't have camera in my system, so probably I can't provide the darshan. I am able to take your darshan, so that's enough for me. So my question was on the philosophical part, that what is the difference of understanding of Purusha when we study the Sankhya darshan, and what is the understanding of Purusha and Ishvara when we study the Yoga darshan?
Good question. According to Sankhya, Purusha is living entity. Purusha is soul, not God. Because they don't accept God. The only 2 realities accepted in Sankhya: Purusha and Prakriti. First chapter defines Purusha. Second chapter defines Prakriti. Third chapter talks about when they come together, as the Purusha suffers because of Prakriti. Fourth chapter talks about how to get out of Prakriti. This is the 4 chapters in Sankhya philosophy. Ishwarena Siddhya, they don't accept God. So when Sankhya say Purusha, it doesn't talk about Krishna, the Param Purusha. It only talks about. They say Purusha is conscious and inactive, and they say Prakriti is unconscious and active. So when they come together like a blind man and layman, magnet and iron, and camel and saffron, and the redness coming from beetle. So these are 4 famous examples which they give. So these Sankhites, they give the philosophy. When it comes to yoga, Patanjali says, Sankhya gave only knowledge, not much practicality. I give you the practical. Number 2. The Sankhites, Kapila, he said, no God. What dangerous? No God, no God. What is this? Paramatma. Ishvara Pranidhana. He uses these words. Patanjali. But ultimately, he bases his practicality on a theistic philosophy called Sankhya. So, Purusha in Sankhya and Purusha in yoga both are same. Actually, the six systems of philosophy has categorized Nyaya Vaisheshika, Sankhya Yoga, Purana Sutta Vimamsa, like that. They're like twins. 3 twins make 6. So the Purusha of Sankhya is the same as Purusha of Patanjali, because Patanjali, he just wanted to give a practical method of realizing that you are not Prakriti. And that is why our Patanjali is actually doesn't give the theory part much, philosophy part of it. Theology doesn't give. He just gives the axiology part of it.
And Prabhuji, why this the other Kapila is taught as a Sankhya, the writer of this Sankhya, whereas the real Kapila Muni, and that difference.
This is the coincidence. That will come when you study Sankhya. I hope you already got the Sankhya notes. In that the verses are there. When you come to Sankhya next week, we'll talk about more. But now you should understand there are 3 philosophies named the same, but they are different. Atheistic Kapila Sankhya, Krishna Sankhya, Devaiti Kapila Sankhya. Now, if you read the purport to the 2nd chapter, 39th verse, Esha Devita Sankhya Buddhivam Shunu. The purport you study, you'll have a very clear understanding how these 3 are different.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Maybe there is one more last question. Sitendra Kashyap is asking which philosophy of these 6 the Gopis of Vrindavan knew?
They make all the 6 philosophers dumb. Because of the highest level of prema, all the 6 philosophers get confused. Even Vyasa is dumb. That is their philosophy. Their philosophy is no philosophy. Gaudiya philosophy is actually no philosophy. When you're in love with someone, where logic functions. Love has no logic. That is a philosophy.
Yeah, but Srila Prabhupada also says, as you yourself showed, the devotional service is founded on the conclusions of Vedanta. So how does that?
Yeah, principles, but experience.
Yeah, of course.
Vedanta becomes blind. When it comes to rasa, Vedanta ends. Radharani kicked out Govinda, get out of Vrindavan, because you have a desire to write commentary on Vedanta. Vrindavan is not meant for Vedanta. It is like Govinda had to go to Jaipur and do that. I understood. It took time for you to understand. So there is a transcendental reason why Govinda went out of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is only meant for. And Jiva Goswami, he established through logic that how what my guru told is right. Rupa told this kind of mentality is not good for you. So get lost. Don't show your face. So Vraj is totally different. It is too much. First, let us talk about Vishnu. Krishna is Supreme Personality. Go and do some Vaidhi Bhakti. And then, when you are talking about another seminar of Shad Darshanas, Shad Sandarbhas. Now is Shad Darshan going on. So when Shad Darshan going on, my mind is rooted. So I'll talk like this. Okay. When it comes to Shad Darshana, Shad Sandarbhas, it will be different.
Varun Shukla is
answers like that only. You will say, because this is all atheistic, so atheism has to be dealt with like atheistic way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji. It's already 8:57, so can we have 1-2 more questions, if you permit?
Yeah, as long as you can tolerate.
We'll be happy to hear from you. Dr. Varun Shukla, you had some question. You are raising hands.
Hare Krishna.
Correct.
So I have the question that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "I am the source of everything. Uh, so everything emanates from me." So how can he say like that? Because he came from Balaram. There is Vasudev Krishna who is talking.
Where did Krishna come from?
He come from Vajendra and Krishna expand himself as Balaram. From him expand and Balaram expand Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So that Vasudev Krishna is saying that I am the source of everything in Bhagavad Gita.
So what is the difference between Vasudeva Krishna and Vajendra Krishna?
Vajendra and Krishna is in Vrindavan too. And Vasudeva Krishna is Mathura and
So
Dwarka.
just because in Vrindavan is different, or just because he is in Vrindavan, is he different?
I don't know so very much, but it's different. I think.
So for that, you should know one verse. Rupa Goswami writes these words in Bhakti Rasamrita. Siddhantopi avedastu Krishna Srishayoho Rasa Vaishishtyam Agre Vyechitva. Though there is no difference between Krishna and Sri Isha means Narayana. The same way there is no difference between Krishna and Vajradhara Krishna and Vasudeva Krishna. Siddhanta point of view. There is only Taratamya. Taratamya is only in the Rasa. Rasa Bheda is there. So Rasotkarshena. So Rasotkarsha is more. That's all. Like a judge in the court, judge in the house. Judge in the court is the same as the judge in the house. Just because he's in the house, it doesn't make a different person, it's the same person. And also, you have this Brahma Samhita verse. What is it saying? Deepa Chirevai Dashantaramabhyupetya Dipayate Vratahetu Samana Dharma Kratrugevai Vishtutaya Vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Aham Bhajami. Samana Dharma. You take one lamp and then light all the lamps. Keep the lamp at the end. You find all the lamps are having the same, Samana Dharma. But still, there is one lamp which has lit all the lamps. So there is a difference. But Samana Dharma, they're all same, similar. Not one lamp lit other lamps. So Krishna is avatari, source of all incarnations. At the same time, is not different between that. There is no difference between incarnation and incarnation. Okay.
Yeah, I think there are no more questions.